Welcome to the Art of Happiness. My name is Tam, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Erin.
Hello.
My BFF. So today we are going to talk about a hobby that you tried.
Yes.
Which was pasta making.
That's right.
Which I'm really certain I pressured you to do following your Japan trip.
Right.
Because you learned how to do ramen noodles.
That's
then,
right. That's right.
But the pasta noodles that you did this time wasn't ramen, correct?
Correct.
It was, I guess, I'm going to say traditional. Is
Yeah,
that the right
yeah,
word?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that the right word? Or is it Italian?
Italian. I guess Italian noodles.
Italian noodles?
Yeah.
Okay. So what type of noodles did you try? Was it spaghetti, fettuccine? I'm just going to list the ones I know.
Yeah.
And that's that. Spaghetti and fettuccine.
Well, yeah. So for sure. So I was definitely inspired by the cooking class that we took in Japan, and we made ramen noodles with the pasta maker, and it was something that had always been on the back of my mind and wanting to try anyway. Adam is Italian descent. We eat pasta all the freaking time.
So
definitely,
good.
I mean, it is so good.
I
and
live for pasta.
Like, he loves pasta, and he's made me a pasta lover. For better or for worse, but
our hips will tell us
right.
someday.
So it's something I've wanted to try, and I think that now with social media, you see so many videos of people making it. It just didn't seem like it was too challenging, so I thought it'd be something we could tackle. We started with did some research on finding what the best machine was for rolling it out that wasn't too pricey. We ended up finding this one that was made in Italy.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. It was the Atlas 150 if anybody's interested. But it actually was very highly rated, and it was it was a little bit of an investment. I think it was about $80 or $90.
Okay.
But I do think it's something that when we got it is very substantial. It's definitely gonna last.
That's great.
It's a very well made product.
Okay.
And so the one we got has 3 noodle options to make, but you can get attachments to make different shapes and sizes.
Okay.
So yeah, the one we got had the option to make more traditional spaghetti.
Okay.
Not necessarily angel hair, and then fettuccine and lasagna noodles. It's just
lasagna noodles.
Yes.
I didn't even consider that one. Okay.
Yeah. So unboxed it. Obviously, it's a very pretty machine. It's very
Is
shiny,
it like one you want to keep on your countertop to kind of like some people that come by and you're like, that's my pasta.
I make pasta, But yeah, no, it ended up being really awesome trial and hobby, and I think we'll keep doing it. Making pasta dough is actually really easy.
Really?
Yeah, way easier than bread making, that's for sure. At least in my experience.
Poor starter, baby. Did you have a starter pasta to make it?
No, thank God.
Question. You said it's easy to make the pasta. Is it something that where you can wake up in the morning and you're like, I want spaghetti tonight, and you can whip it up?
Yes, because you don't have to pre-make it. I think you want to make it right away. I haven't gotten too much in this, but we did find that with the actual spaghetti noodles, we didn't buy a drying rack, but it'd probably be best to have one.
Okay.
Because the noodles are so skinny, they kind of stick together.
Oh.
We found the fettuccine was easier for starting, because it didn't stick together as much. And just getting the right consistency of the dough, But yes, literally, so this is kind of a silly story, but my kids were so excited about this when I opened this machine and told them what this was. They're like, can we make noodles right now?
Right.
And I was like, no, let's do it tomorrow. I'm not prepared for that. And literally, the next morning, it was Saturday, they were like, you said tomorrow. Can we do it right now? And I'm like, babe, it is 6 a.m. 6 a.m. They're like, we want spaghetti for breakfast. I'm like,
I love that.
Okay, I guess. So literally we jumped right in, and that's how easy it was, though.
Wow.
They helped us make the dough. It's just flour, water, it's very simple, egg. And then the machine rolls it out for you, and you just keep making it smaller and smaller and smaller, thinner and thinner and thinner, and then you put it through the fettuccine part, And we made fettuccine.
That's amazing.
And we did it. I mean, it did take a little bit. It made quite the mess for the first time.
Did it?
But Adam whipped up some Alfredo, and we cooked the fettuccine, and it really does taste so much better.
You really can tell a difference in the flavor?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
See, I guess that should be the obvious answer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's been things that I've done, and I'm like, no one will tell the difference.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, see, no one can tell the difference, right? But in this case,
definitely.
it really is.
It's totally different texture, and it's different, richer, and just tastes way better,
Wow.
Yeah, and you may know this, but when you cook it, it cooks so fast, 2 or 3 minutes,
Wow.
versus
the store-bought pasta?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I think you already kind of alluded to this, but when you make the noodles, can you just save it for later and then make the meal later, or do you have
can
to
up to a
use it
point.
right away?
I don't remember how long you can keep it. You can keep it for a little while. I don't think you can keep it for very long.
Okay.
You know, but it's you could definitely make it earlier in the day and then cook it later.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then there's some benefit in drying like the smaller noodles, like I said, mentioned. So yeah, we haven't really perfected this real skinny noodles. We have to figure that out. I think getting a drying thing is going to be the key to that. But yeah, it's been really fun, and cleanup wasn't too bad. The machine, you just kind of rinse it off, and it's because it's not. I mean, there's not much to it. Just flour, like I said, flour, water, egg, and you clean it up, and it's delicious. So,
it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I've heard you say "we" a lot in this hobby, and which is unique for you because I feel like most of your hobbies have been very just
true.
You, right? When you say "we" in this hobby, was this an Adam and you hobby?
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was my thing I wanted to try, and I definitely spearheaded getting the equipment and doing that. But Adam, being a pasta lover, he wanted to get involved, of course.
That's great.
So, and then it was really cool because the kids could get messy, and then rolling out the pasta was so exciting to everybody.
Really?
Because when you put that flat noodle in and it comes out little
it's just sprinkles out all wired.
Yeah, it is very rewarding.
It's like a giant Play-Doh machine.
Kind of, actually. That's good. Yeah, it really is.
That's so funny. Okay, so then if this was something that was kind of more leaning towards a you and Adam hobby, what do you think the difference is between a hobby that you've done kind of by yourself versus what was a different experience that you can point out that you were aware of and doing this with Adam versus in hobbies that you've been doing by yourself?
I mean, I guess it was nice to have his support through learning something new, and then he does all the cooking, and so that was helpful too. It kind of gave me a little safety net or something. A little bit.
Makes sense. Yeah,
because I'm timid when it comes to cooking, and I don't feel like I'm that great at it. Just something I've never really gotten into. And so having him to, he made the pasta sauce while we made the noodles, and so that was kind of nice,
Kind of like a joint effort.
Yes.
So you guys were almost able to kind of split apart to kind of do the hobby together with your own specific skill set, and then kind of come together.
Definitely.
That's great.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many avenues. I think that this hobby, yes, is definitely very more family-oriented because you are sharing the food as a family. I mean, I don't imagine that I would make the noodles just for myself necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe I would. I don't know.
I was gonna say, why not?
I don't know.
Maybe you just want a really banging fettuccine.
I don't I'm not one to ever be oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna cook noodles and make a whole meal for myself.
No, I relate to you on that. It's usually a bowl of cereal. I'm hungry. Where's my cereal?
Totally. I mean, me too. If it's just me, a protein bar, or a snack, it's not. I'm not eating a full meal. So,
oh my goodness,
that's just I don't know. This is how I am.
It does Adam though. If he's hungry, will he go? So Pat does the same thing.
He'll make a whole meal for himself. Yeah,
and equally in our family, Pat's the cooker. Yeah. And so if Pat's off by himself and it's oh well, you're on your own for a meal tonight, he'll come in later with this gourmet meal that I'm maybe I do want some of that. Have you got any leftover of that?
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Yeah. They don't seem to care about all the prep work and the cleanup and all that. It doesn't deter them. For me, I'm
that's what they like,
I guess,
because that's their hobby and it brings them joy. Maybe the full experience is what brings them joy.
That's true. I mean, Adam has always said it's one of his love languages. It's just he got that from his Italian grandma.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bet that is kind of generational and passing that down. Okay, so so when you started in Japan, you did the ramen noodles, and now you're doing Italian noodles.
Right.
Out of those two, which one is easier to do?
I mean, making the actual noodles is the same. The ramen has a lot more ingredients to make the bowl of ramen.
Oh.
There's a
you mean the stuff
to
that
actually
goes into
make the
bowl.
meal.
Gotcha.
Because you make the broth and whatever you put in it. The eggs or the vegetables or the chicken or whatever you put in it. You have to make all those things too.
Gotcha.
With Italian pasta, I mean, yes, you're making a sauce, and you could get elaborate with it, but it's also a lot
put
simpler.
Some Prego on
right?
It.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
which is probably where I would go if I ever was
butter
I'm
and
gonna
Parmesan.
treat myself. Here's Prego. Where's that box of noodles?
So I would say it's simpler to do the Italian noodles, and I think there's just a lot more variety too. We haven't even explored it yet, but something I want to try to do is make ravioli, make your own ravioli.
I was just gonna ask.
You just get a ravioli press, and
if you did a stuffed noodle versus a non-stuffed noodle.
We haven't tried it yet, but I think that would be really easy because you just make the flat noodles and then you
just stuff it with what you want to stuff
cookie cutter them out basically. There's a special press you buy for the ravioli. that you can buy, but it's just like a cookie cutter kind of.
Okay. So like
or like an Encrustable.
Encrustable.
You know, like the press for the
yes. Kids live for
so
those
like
things.
That. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you really like enjoy
Definitely.
this hobby? Like, do you think this is something that you'll keep doing?
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
I think it'll be something that's kind of in the background, like, let's make homemade noodle for dinner, kind of.
Oh yeah, like a special
thing.
night.
Yes.
Let's like stay in and eat and have like a really good meal.
Definitely.
So not that I'm like offended,
but
I kind of am.
I know.
I'm fairly certain in my last episode I demanded to be invited to dinner.
I know.
And I just can't help but hear how I wasn't invited. The kids got it at 6 in the morning. How dare you take care of your children before me?
Should I have called you at 5:45 and said, come on over, come over right now?
I would have said, yes, I would like to Buddy the Elf my breakfast. I want spaghetti and meat sauce. Make sure there's some syrup.
All right.
So upset.
I know. It's been such a busy time. I know this time of year just gets so busy, but we need to make that happen. It'd be fun to do a family pasta night.
Oh, that would be really good. Almost like a Friendsgiving-y kind of thing. Do you like how I just like assaulted you with like aggression on this podcast episode to get you like to trap you into inviting
I'm totally fine with it. I need that pressure, like
I love it.
Yeah.
So do you feel like for those who are listening to this and trying to decide on how to like if they want to do this as a hobby, do you feel like this was a very like expensive hobby? Do you feel like it can really
I mean obviously expensive is a different term for other people, relative term. However, we were able to get, once you have the machine, like that is the most expensive piece.
And you said it's pretty durable, right? Like you don't have to worry about this thing like breaking it for 2
it's like heavy duty, it's made in Italy. I'd imagine it's well crafted. It seems very well crafted. So yeah, $80. Obviously flour and the ingredients are extremely cheap. You probably already have them in your house.
Oh, right.
And you're going to reuse it over and over and over again. So yes, I feel like if you plan for it and you really want it, it's not actually that expensive if you think of like long term.
Yeah.
And you don't have to, once you have it, you don't have to keep buying anything for it.
That's great.
Yeah. So yes, if it's something you're wanting to get into, the one we bought, the Atlas 150, seems like a really great machine. And you get on Amazon, that's where we got it.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to just, you open the box and you start doing it.
That's great.
Yeah, and from somebody who has very little cooking skills. It turned out great.
I was going to ask that too, like based off of like the skill set. Do you feel like it was like a low barrier to entry? Really?
Definitely.
Do you think taking the class in Japan kind of gave you a little leg up?
I do, not because of the skill, but because of the confidence. Because like just seeing somebody walked you through it, and you're like, wow, this is actually really easy.
Gotcha.
It like was like, okay, I could definitely take this skill and do it. So yeah, there is something about that, the confidence. So if you're hesitant about it, I mean, you can find the same video, a whole video on YouTube or something.
Oh yeah.
But definitely local cooking class too would be a great place to start if you can find something like that. If
just get that one-off class,
if you're worried about it,
because
we talk about all the time how it's really about just like getting your foot through the door.
Yeah.
And then the rest,
getting yourself out there, challenging yourself.
Just do it. Like start small. Just start, and then you get that nervousness. You kind of overcome that with time. Each time it gets a little easier when you try something new, right?
It really does.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic. It's really shocking to me that this is like one of the more successful hobbies for you, because like I feel like you've tried a couple of baking ones or cooking ones, and you've been like, it's not for me.
Yes, it's so true.
And so like to hear that this one really has been like positive for you, and like not only has it been positive, but like you're ready to like move on to the next level. Like that's gotta feel really exciting to kind of have something. And also that like you kind of talked about how like your kids kind of were messy in this one, but like the way you talked about it was more of just like it happens. Whereas back with Starter Baby, that mess was really stressful.
That's
for
so
you.
True. That's a good point.
So there's so much growth that you've done in the last 7 months that we've been doing this alone. Where
that's a great point, Tam. I think that I've tried to get a lot more. It has made me more relaxed about the mess. I don't know why.
Yeah, because it was a huge stressor in your first one. You were like, it's not worth it. I'm not cleaning this up. Whereas in this one, you're like, we were messy. It was 6 a.m. It was fun. It's noticeable the difference in your tone and feel of this particular type of cooking dish versus back when you were trying your other ones. I just find that really interesting.
That is interesting. It's the hobbies,
they They just bring you joy. It's so weird. Somebody should start a podcast
I know,
about
gosh.
that.
I mean, just start a hobby. It'll change your life.
It'll change your life. Okay, so we always try to rank, how we feel about these things. So like out of engagement, enjoyment, skill development, social interaction, stress.
Yeah.
Where would you rank this?
I mean, I think I would give it 5 out of 5. I mean, really,
totally saw that coming.
I don't think there's anything I would downgrade on it. You know,
sound so Susie Homemaker, and I mean that in the best way.
But
like
I've
never seen. I know that's the crazy thing is it's such a weird aura coming from you, and like you and I share in the fact that we don't. So we're not kitchen women. Right. But like. Here you are, and like deep in it because you're making from scratch, and you're just like elated, and you're like, this is my family memories, and it's just so weird, but like in a really great way.
I'm a whole new person.
You are a whole new person. I kind of like, I almost. Like I need to see it.
Yeah.
Like I need to see it in action.
We really should do a night. We can you guys come over and we do a pasta making thing.
I think that'd be so much fun. I'll bring my Play-Doh machine because I don't know how to cook or do anything.
Well, the cool thing is like we can make the dough and we can just like make the noodle, roll it through, and you don't have to like do do that process.
I'm gonna want to see how it looks.
And the kind of fun thing is too when you make the noodles is you don't just dump the whole box in. You kind of do it in batches, like
so like you drop it like for each plate.
And they cook, kind of.
Okay, so it's like who's ready, dropping this noodle, moving on.
Yeah, so it is very it can be very interactive. So I think it's a cool hobby. So I hope that maybe this inspires anybody who's been thinking about trying pasta making or something that you want to get into cooking, getting in the kitchen. I think it's a good way to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Erin's Hobby today.
Yay. Thanks for joining us. We hope you join us again on The Art of Hobbiness. If you want some hobby inspiration or just want to
just hang out with us.
Laugh a little bit. Find some joy, happiness, be inspired. If you enjoyed our podcast, we would love for you to follow us and leave us a review. We're also on social media, so we love to connect with you on Instagram. It would make us very happy, so please do.
Talk to you soon.
Yep, bye.